Music is made up of organized sound moving through time. Musicians not only need to know what pitches to sing or play, they also need to know when to sing or play them. In music, we keep a steady pulse or beat upon which we base the lengths of the various pitches. In the following notation, the music is divided into equal parts, each part containing 4 beats. These parts are called measures, and the dividing lines are called bar lines. These are quarter notes. Each one gets 1 beat. Because there are 4 beats per measure, there are 4 quarter notes per measure. These are half notes. Each one gets 2 beats, so there can be 2 per measure. These are whole notes. Each one gets 4 beats, so there can only be 1 per measure in 4/4. Along with sounds in music, there is also silence. Each note learned in the previous section has a corresponding rest that gets the same number of beats. Quarter notes, quarter rests. Half note, half rests. Whole note, whole rest. A whole rest also means to rest for any complete or one measure. Whole rests hang from the line. Half rests stand on top of the line. Half rests are 2 beats. Whole rests are 4 beats. Time signatures, dotted half notes, and double bar lines. A time signature occurs at the beginning of each piece of music and describes how many beats will occur per measure and what kind of note lasts 1 beat. Here are some examples of time signatures. The top number usually tells how many beats will occur in each measure. When the bottom number is a 4, it means that a quarter note lasts for 1 beat. This is a dotted half note. It gets 3 beats. The final bar line in a piece of music is called a double bar line and is made up of a thin line and a thick line. Staff, or staves, are defined as the horizontal lines upon which music is written. The top staff of the following contains a treble clef. This clef tells you that the notes after it will be high notes. It is also called a G clef because the curve in the middle of the clef is around the second line up, which is where the note G is located. Sopranos and altos sing pitches notated by the treble clef. Music for tenors is usually written in the treble clef as well. However, the pitches that the tenors actually sing are an octave or 8 notes below what is written. The other clef you see here is the bass clef. It notates low pitches and is also called the F clef because its 2 dots are on either side of the second line from the top, which is where the note F is located. Baritones and basses sing pitches notated by the bass clef. This is the grand staff. It always has 2 lines of music and usually uses a treble clef and a bass clef. Piano music is written on the grand staff. The top line contains notes to be played by the right hand, while the bottom line contains notes for the left hand. The 2 staves are always joined together by a bracket on the left side, and the bar lines are written all the way from the top of the staff to the bottom. Reading music. Each note on the staff represents a specific pitch. Here are some basics of music reading. As notes ascend on the staff, their sounds rise in pitch. As they descend on the staff, their sounds lower in pitch. Notes are classified as either line notes or space notes. Line notes have a line of the staff going through them, and space notes are in the spaces. There are 7 notes in the musical alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, which repeat over and over. When notes move up on the staff from one note to the very next one, they ascend in order, example A, B, C, D, in the musical alphabet. Treble clef notes. There are easy ways to remember the line and space notes of the treble clef. The lines can be remembered with the phrase, "Every good boy does fine." The space notes of the treble clef spell face. The stem rule. Stems go up on the right side of the note if the note is below the third or middle line on the staff. Otherwise, stems go down and on the left side of the note. Music that moves by step. It is very important to recognize the notes and identify their names. However, reading music is much easier, especially when sight reading, if you pay attention to the direction in which the notes are traveling and the distance between the notes. Notes that are right next to each other in the scale and on the staff are separated by a step. Passages of stepwise notes are easy to spot if you look for notes that move in the pattern line, space, or space, line, and that do not skip any lines or spaces. Other notes in the treble clef. The lines and spaces contained in the staff are not sufficient to notate all the pitches that you will need to sing and play. Therefore, notes can be written above and below the staff with the addition of ledger lines. These are lines written to identify notes above and below the staff. Here are some examples of notes written with ledger lines. As you can see, notes with ledger lines can move by step in the same way as notes on the staff. The second and third measures in the above line show notes moving up and then down by step. Bass clef notes. Lower pitch notes are notated using the bass clef. The notes on the lines and spaces of the bass clef have different names from the ones on the treble clef. The lines of the bass clef are G, B, D, F, A. You can remember them with the phrase, "Good boys do fine always." The space notes are A, C, E, G. They can be remembered with the phrase, "All cows eat grass." More notes in the bass clef. Extra notes can be added onto the bass clef just as they can on the treble clef. Here are the most common notes added with ledger lines. Eighth notes. Eighth notes move twice as fast as quarter notes. They are counted using numbers with "and" in between. Here's what they look like. Eighth notes can be joined together in groups of 4. They can also be joined together in groups of 2. Eighth rests. Dynamics are markings that tell you how loud or soft to play or sing a piece of music. Here are the most common dynamic markings with their names and translations. Pianissimo, very soft. Piano, soft. Mezzo piano, medium soft. Mezzo forte, medium loud. Forte, loud. And fortissimo, very loud. In addition, there are 2 markings that mean to gradually increase and decrease in sound. Crescendo, gradually get louder, and diminuendo or decrescendo, gradually get softer. Ties and slurs. Ties and slurs are both curved lines that are drawn above or below the notes. Because they look so familiar, it is easy to confuse them. Here's how to tell the difference. A tie connects 2 notes that are on the same pitch. It means to hold that pitch for the duration of both notes. A slur connects more than 2 notes, or 2 notes that are on different pitches. It means to sing or play the notes under the slur smoothly, or legato.